1001 Arabian Nights Part 1 The Story of the Merchant and the Genie. The History of the First Old Man and the Hind. The History of the Old Man and the Two Black Dogs. Part 2 The History of the Fisherman. The History of the Greek King and Douban the Physician. The History of the Young King of the Black Isles. Part 3 The History of the Three Calendars, Sons of Kings and Five Ladies of Baghdad. The History of the First Calendar, the Son of a King. The History of the Second Calendar, the Son of a King. The History of the Envious Man and of him who was envied. The History of the Third Calendar, the Son of a King. Part 4 The History of the Little Hunchback. The Story Told by the Christian Merchant. The Story Told by the Purveyor of the Sultan of Casgar. The Story Told by the Jewish Physician. The Story Told by the Tailor. The History of the Barber. The History of the Barber's first brother. The History of the Barber's second brother. The History of the Barber's third brother. The History of the Barber's fourth brother. The History of the Barber's fifth brother. The History of the Barber's sixth brother. Part 5 The History of Noureddin and the Beautiful Persian. The History of Camaralzaman, Prince of the Isle of the Children of Khaledan, and of Badoura, Princess of China. Part 6 The Sleeper Awakened. The History of Abu Hassan Ali ibn Bakr and of Shamelzahar, the favorite of the Caliph of Harun al-Rashid. The Three Apples. The History of the lady who was murdered and of the young man her husband. Part 7 The History of Sinbad the Sailor. The First Voyage of Sinbad the Sailor. The Second Voyage of Sinbad the Sailor. The Third Voyage of Sinbad the Sailor. The Fourth Voyage of Sinbad the Sailor. The Fifth Voyage of Sinbad the Sailor. The Sixth Voyage of Sinbad the Sailor. The Seventh and Last Voyage of Sinbad the Sailor. Appendix. The History of Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp. The History of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves who were killed by one slave.